Sophia Winters adjusted her silk blouse for the third time as the elevator climbed toward the 50th floor of Castellano Technologies. The morning sun painted Denver's skyline in shades of gold through the glass walls. But she barely noticed the view that made visitors gasp in wonder. Her mind was already racing through the day ahead, board presentations, contract reviews, and the delicate dance of managing Roman Castellano's impossibly demanding schedule. At 26, Sophia had earned her position as executive assistant to one of America's youngest tech billionaires through pure determination and flawless execution. Her colleagues whispered that she was the only person who could predict Roman's needs before he even knew them himself. What they didn't know was the careful wall of professional distance she maintained to protect both their careers. The man behind the empire, Roman Castellano, stood at his office windows, watching the city wake up below the 34 he commanded. A tech empire worth billions, but success had come with a price. Every relationship felt calculated, every conversation filtered through the lens of wealth and power. Everyone wanted something from him. Everyone except the brilliant woman who would arrive at his door in exactly 3 minutes with his morning briefing. He had memorized her schedule without meaning to. The soft click of her heels against marble, the way she organized documents with mathematical precision, the rare smile that transformed her entire face when she thought no one was watching. For 2 years he had maintained perfect professional distance while fighting an attraction that grew stronger each day. The soft knock came precisely on time. "Come in, Sophia." The morning dance, Sophia entered with her usual grace, carrying the leather portfolio that contained his day. She wore a navy dress that was both elegant and absolutely appropriate. Her dark hair swept into a perfect chignon. Everything about her screamed competence and control. "Good morning, Mr. Castellano," she said, her voice carrying that professional warmth she had perfected. "The quarterly reports are ready for your review, and I've prepared analysis on the 3 merger proposals." The man turned from the window, and as always, the full force of his attention made her pulse quicken. He was devastatingly handsome in his charcoal suit, but it was his intelligence that truly drew her, the way his green eyes could dissect a problem in seconds. The quiet confidence that commanded respect without demanding it. "The Morrison deal?" he asked, moving to his desk. "I recommend against it," Sophia said, setting down her portfolio. "Their technology is impressive, but their corporate culture would clash with ours. The integration would be nightmare." Roman smiled slightly. 2 years, her instincts had never been wrong.
"Oh, your alternative?"
Smaller investment, bigger potential, and their team already shares our vision for ethical tech development. A dangerous territory? You realize you just potentially saved the company $50 million? Roman said, reviewing her analysis. Sophia felt warmth bloom in her chest at his praise, then immediately suppressed it. "Just doing my job, sir." "Sophia." Something in his voice made her look up. "How many times do I have to tell you to call me Roman when we're alone?" The question hung between them, loaded with implications. She had been Sophia to him for months now, but she always reverted to formality, using titles like armor against feelings that had no place in their professional relationship. "Company policy suggests maintaining appropriate boundaries," she said carefully. "Company policy." Roman moved closer to her side of the desk. "Do you know I wrote most of those policies myself? And I'm beginning to think some of them are outdated." Sophia's heart raced, but she kept her expression neutral. "The board expects certain standards of professionalism. The board expects results. Everything else is just tradition." His eyes held hers, and I've never been one to follow tradition blindly. The storm gathering before Sophia could respond, her phone buzzed with an urgent alert. Screen and frowned. The Weather Service just issued a severe storm warning for the Rockies. The Aspen conference is still scheduled for this afternoon. Roman checked his own phone, his expression growing serious. "The Richardson team is flying in specifically for this meeting. If we cancel now, we lose momentum." Sophia was already pulling up weather data on her tablet. "The storm isn't supposed to hit until evening. We could fly up this morning, complete the meetings, and return before the worst of it. Or we could get trapped in Aspen overnight." The words settled between them with dangerous implications. Sophia had been to dozens of business trips with Roman, but always with other executives, always with clear professional boundaries. The thought of being stranded with him, alone, made her pulse race for reasons that had nothing to do with weather concerns. I could arrange for separate accommodations, she said quickly. Different hotels, maximum professional distance. Roman studied her carefully. Is that what you want? Maximum professional distance? The question felt like a trap and an invitation all at once. Sophia met his gaze steadily. I want what's best for the company. That's not what I asked. Into the storm, too. Hours later, they were airborne in Roman's private jet, racing against the approaching storm. Sophia sat across from him in the luxury cabin, trying to focus on merger documents while hyper-aware of every movement he made. The flight was smooth, but she could see dark clouds gathering on the horizon like an omen. The Richardson presentation. Looks solid, she said, breaking the comfortable silence. Thanks to your research. Roman closed his laptop and gave her his full attention. I've been thinking about what you said earlier? About appropriate boundaries? Sophia's grip tightened on her pen. Mr. Castellano ain't corrected. Gently, and I've been wondering if maybe the most inappropriate thing would be pretending we don't feel what we both know is growing between us. The plane hit turbulence at that moment, and Sophia gripped her armrest. Through the window, she could see snow beginning to fall, weeks earlier than the forecast predicted. The storm is moving faster than expected, the pilot's voice crackled. Through the intercom, we need to land immediately. Trapped Aspen's airport was chaos when they landed. Flights were being canceled, roads were closing, and the Richardson team's plane had been diverted to Denver. Their carefully planned business meeting had evaporated, leaving them stranded in a luxury mountain resort town with a blizzard bearing down. The Castellano suite at the Grand Aspen is ready, Sophia said, checking her phone as they gathered their belongings. But there's a problem. The conference cancellations have created a booking crisis. Every hotel in town is overbooked. With stranded travelers, Roman raised an eyebrow. Every hotel? I managed to secure one room at the Mountain View Lodge. She paused, her cheeks flushing slightly. It's a romantic cabin resort. Very private, very intimate. Through the airport windows, snow was falling heavily now, transforming the world into a white wilderness. The storm that was supposed to arrive that evening had caught them completely off guard. One room? Roman's voice was carefully neutral. It's a large cabin with a separate sitting area, Sophia said quickly. It's only for one night. The road should be clear by morning. But even as she said it, she could see the storm intensifying. Outside, weather alerts were flashing on every screen, warning of a historic blizzard that could dump 3 feet of snow and close mountain passes for days. Roman moved closer, his voice low and intimate. Are you sure about this, Sophia? Once we're alone in that cabin, away from the office and company policies and professional expectations, he let the sentence hang. Sophia looked into his green eyes and saw her own desire reflected there along. With something deeper, a tenderness that made her heart race. The professional woman in her knew this was dangerous territory. But another part of her, the part she had been suppressing for 2 years, was tired of fighting what felt as natural as breathing. I'm sure, she whispered. Outside, the storm raged. On, as if nature itself had conspired to push them together. As they climbed into the car that would take them to the cabin, Sophia couldn't shake the feeling that they were driving toward something far more dangerous than any blizzard. They were heading toward a truth that would change everything. The perfect storm had begun, and there would be no hiding from it now. The Mountain View Lodge cabin sat nestled among towering pines, its windows glowing warmly against the rapidly darkening sky. Snow fell in thick, silent curtains, already accumulating faster than the weather service had predicted. Sophia stood in the doorway, taking in the space that would be their refuge for the night or longer. If the storm continued its relentless assault, the cabin was everything the resort had promised. Rustic elegance met modern luxury in a space designed for romance. A stone fireplace dominated one wall, already crackling with welcoming flames. Soft leather furniture was arranged to take advantage of the mountain views, and a king-sized bed occupied an alcove separated from the main room by flowing curtains. One bed, Roman observed quietly, setting down their overnight bags. Sophia felt heat rise in her cheeks. I can take the couch. It looks comfortable enough. Absolutely not. Roman moved to check the windows, where snow was already piling against the glass. This storm is getting worse by the hour. We need to stay warm. and that means sharing the fireplace area. As if to emphasize his point, the lights flickered ominously. The cabin's heating system hummed louder, fighting against the mountain cold seeping through the walls. Walls coming down, I should call the office, Sophia said, reaching for her phone. Let them know about the meeting cancellation and our situation. Caught her hand gently. The office can wait. When was the last time you took a moment just for yourself? His touch sent electricity through her entire arm. She stared down at their joined hands, his so much larger than hers, warm and strong. I don't really do moments for myself, I know. His thumb traced across her knuckles. You take care of everyone else, me, the company, every detail of every day, but who takes care of you? The question hit deeper than she expected. Sophia had built her life around being indispensable, around never needing anything from anyone. The idea of being cared for felt foreign and terrifying and wonderful. All at once. I take care of myself, she said softly. Do you? Roman stepped closer, still holding her hand. When you work 14-hour days and forget to eat lunch? When you stay late to perfect presentations that are already flawless? When you maintain such perfect professional distance that no one really knows the incredible woman behind the perfect assistant? The fire between them, Sophia pulled her hand free, needing space to think. She moved to the windows, watching the snow swirl in hypnotic patterns. Professional distance protects everyone involved, or it protects you from having to risk anything real. She turned to face him, seeing her own conflicted emotions reflected in his green eyes. You don't understand what it's like. I worked so hard to get where I am. One wrong move, one appearance of impropriety, and everything I've built could disappear. Roman moved to the fireplace, adding another log to the flames. What if I told you that everything you think you know about your position, about company, policies, about the rules we've been following, is about to change? What do you mean? He turned to face her, the firelight casting shadows across his strong features. I've been planning something for months. A complete restructuring of Castellano Technologies. New policies, new opportunities, new freedoms for relationships that enhance rather than compromise professional excellence. Sophia's analytical mind raced ahead. You're talking about changing the entire corporate culture? I'm talking about creating a company where brilliant people like you can reach their full potential without hiding who they are or what they feel. Roman took a step toward her. Your promotion to Chief Innovation Officer was approved by the board last week. The words hit her like a physical force. My what? You've been running strategic development for 2 years while carrying the title of executive assistant. It's time your position matched your contributions. His eyes held hers steadily. This promotion has nothing to do with my feelings for you and everything to do with your incredible talent. Truth in the storm, Sophia sank into one of the leather chairs, overwhelmed. Chief Innovation Officer position would make me my equal on the corporate ladder. No reporting relationship, no power dynamic, no policy violations. Roman knelt beside her chair. I wanted to tell you in a proper setting with official documents and board presentations. But this storm, this moment, it feels like the universe pushing us to stop hiding. Sighed. The wind howled through the pine trees and snow pelted against the windows with increasing fury. The cabin felt like a world apart from corporate Denver, from policies and procedures and carefully maintained distances. I've been in love with you for over a year, Roman continued, his voice rough with honesty. Every morning when you walk into my office, every late night when you stay to help with a crisis, every moment when you challenge my ideas and make them better. I've been fighting it because I thought it would hurt your career. But maybe the most professional thing I can do is create a world where we don't have to choose between love and success. Tears pricked at Sophia's eyes. Roman ... Tell me you don't feel it too. He reached up to cup her face gently. Tell me these 2 years of careful distance haven't been torture for you as well. The dam-breaking Sophia leaned into his touch, finally allowing herself to feel everything she had suppressed. Of course I feel it. Do you think maintaining professional boundaries has been easy? Do you think I haven't noticed how you take your coffee? Or how your voice changes when you're truly excited about a project? Or the way you unconsciously run your hand through your hair when you're solving complex problems? Roman's smile was brilliant. You notice that? I notice everything about you. Admission felt like jumping off a cliff. It's been terrifying and wonderful and completely inappropriate, and I've been fighting it every single day. Then stop fighting. Roman rose, pulling her up with him. Just for tonight, in this cabin, with this storm raging outside, stop fighting what we both know is real. The lights flickered again, more dramatically this time, before going out completely. The only illumination came from the fireplace, casting dancing shadows and warm golden light across the intimate space. Perfect timing, Roman murmured, his hands framing her face. What if this changes everything? Sophia whispered. What if it changes everything for the better? Love's perfect storm, when Roman's lips met hers, it was like lightning striking. 2 years of suppressed longing, denied attraction, and careful professional distance exploded into a kiss that was desperate and tender and absolutely perfect. Sophia's hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him closer, while his arms wrapped around her waist. Lifting her against him, they broke apart, breathing heavily, foreheads touching in the firelight. I love you, Sophia breathed, the words feeling like freedom. I've loved you for so long, I forgot what it felt like not to love you. I love you too. Roman's voice was rough with emotion. More than I thought possible, more than I knew how to handle. Outside, the storm raged with increasing fury, but inside their cabin sanctuary, time seemed suspended. They sat together on the thick rug before the fireplace, sharing stories and dreams and fears they had never dared voice. Roman told her about the loneliness of success, how every relationship felt tainted by his wealth. Sophia shared her fears about being seen as someone who slept her way to the top, her determination to earn respect through merit alone. You know what's funny? Sophia said, curled against Roman's side as the fire crackled around them.
How this?
Time I thought loving you would make me weak, would compromise my professionalism. But sitting here now, I feel stronger than I have in years. Because love doesn't diminish us, Roman replied, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. Real love makes us braver, more authentic, more ourselves. They fell asleep, wrapped in each other's arms, the storm still raging outside but gentler now, as if it too was settling into peace. When Sophia woke to pale morning light filtering through snow-covered windows, she felt transformed. The professional armor she had worn for years felt unnecessary now, replaced by something far more powerful. The confidence that came from being truly known and loved. Roman was already awake. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. She stretched against him, marveling at how natural this felt. How bad is the damage outside? They moved to the windows together, still wrapped in the soft throw from the couch. The world had been transformed. Overnight into a winter wonderland, but the snow was deep enough to bury cars and block roads completely. We're not getting out of here today, Roman observed. Oh no, Sophia said with mock distress. Another day trapped in paradise with the man I love. However will I survive? Roman's laugh was pure joy. I think we'll manage. But as they prepared breakfast together in the cabin's small kitchen, moving around each other with easy intimacy, neither of them noticed the black SUV parked at the tree line, or the telephoto lens capturing their every tender moment through the cabin's windows. The storm had passed, but the real test of their love was just beginning. 3 days later, Sophia walked into Castellano Technologies with a confidence she had never felt before. The storm had finally passed, roads had been cleared, and they had returned to Denver the previous evening. But everything felt different now. She was different. The careful walls she had built around her heart had melted completely, leaving her feeling both vulnerable and incredibly strong. Roman had gone straight into emergency board meetings about the delayed Richardson merger, but not before pulling her aside in the parking garage. Whatever happens today, he had said, cupping her face in his hands, remember that I love you. Remember that your promotion is real, based entirely on your merit. And remember that we're facing everything together now. His words echoed in her mind as she settled into her office, preparing for what she sensed would be a challenging day. The morning felt different. Emails carried subtle undertones. Colleagues glanced at her strangely. And Nina Torres, from HR, appeared in her doorway before 9 a.m. with an expression that made Sophia's stomach clench. The ambush, we need to talk, Nina said, closing the door behind her. Privately, Nina had been Sophia's mentor and friend for 2 years, which made the formal coldness in her voice all the more alarming. She placed a manila folder on Sophia's desk with the careful precision of someone handling explosives. "What's this about?" Sophia asked, though dread was already pooling in her stomach. "James Mitchell brought these to the board this morning." Nina opened the folder, revealing photographs that made Sophia's blood run cold. There she was, kissing Roman in the firelight of the cabin, wrapped in his arms by the window, sharing intimate breakfasts. Every tender moment of their 3 days together, captured by a telephoto lens and transformed into evidence of corporate impropriety. Where did these come from? Sophia's voice was steadier than she felt. "Mitchell hired a private investigator to follow you both to Aspen. He's been building a case for months, claiming your rapid career advancement was due to personal rather than professional relationships." The setup. Sophia studied the photos with the analytical mind that had made her so valuable to Roman's company. The angles, the lighting, the careful selection of moments. This wasn't random surveillance. This was character assassination, professionally executed. He's been planning this for a while, she realized. The timing isn't coincidental. Nina nodded grimly. "Mitchell knew about your promotion before it was officially announced. He's been waiting for the perfect moment to strike, because he wanted the chief innovation officer position for his nephew." The pieces fell into place with sickening clarity. This isn't about corporate ethics. It's about jealousy and power. That may be true, but it doesn't change the immediate problem. Nina's expression was sympathetic but serious. "Mitchell is demanding your resignation. He's threatening to take this to the press, to make it a scandal that could damage both you and Roman." Sophia stood, pacing to her window that overlooked the mountains, where their love story had begun. "What does Roman know?" "He's in an emergency board session right now. Mitchell called it before Roman could announce your promotion officially." Nina's voice softened. "Sophia, I've seen your work. For 2 years, your promotion is absolutely deserved. But the timing of these photos, the appearance of impropriety, makes it look like I slept my way to the top, which we both know isn't true." The choice. Sophia turned back to her mentor, feeling the weight of an impossible decision. "What are my options?" "Mitchell is offering a deal, resign quietly, and the photos disappear. Stay, and he releases everything to the business press with a story about corruption at the highest levels of Castellano Technologies." The thought of her private moments with Roman splashed across gossip websites made Sophia physically ill. But the thought of giving up everything she had worked for, of letting James Mitchell win through manipulation and blackmail, was worse. "There's a third option," she said quietly. Nina raised an eyebrow. I'm listening." Sophia moved to her computer, pulling up files she had been compiling for months as part of her strategic analysis work. "James Mitchell's nephew isn't qualified for a senior executive position. He's been failing at every company his uncle has placed him in. But that's not the interesting part." Her fingers flew across the keyboard, bringing up financial records, email traces, and board meeting minutes. Mitchell has been manipulating board decisions for years, using his position to benefit family members and business associates. The chief innovation officer position was just the latest in a pattern of corruption. Nina leaned forward, studying the screen. "This is a federal investigation waiting to happen." Sophia's smile held steel. "Mitchell made one crucial mistake. He assumed I was just Roman's assistant, that I didn't have access to high-level strategic information. But I've been analyzing corporate governance patterns for 2 years. I know where all the bodies are buried." The counterattack. An hour later, Sophia walked into the boardroom where James Mitchell was presenting his case against her. The dozen board members looked uncomfortable, clearly not enjoying the tawdry spectacle, but uncertain how to handle it professionally. Roman sat at the head of the table, his expression carefully controlled, but she could see the anger simmering beneath his professional mask. When their eyes met, he gave her the slightest nod of support. "Ah, Miss Winters," Mitchell said with oily satisfaction. "How convenient. We were just discussing your future with the company." "Actually," Sophia said, placing her own folder on the conference table, "I'd like to discuss yours." The room went silent. Mitchell's confident smirk faltered slightly. "What's this?" he demanded. "Evidence of systematic corruption, board manipulation, and nepotism spanning 3 years." Sophia opened her folder with calm precision, including Detailed documentation of how you've used insider information to benefit your nephew's failing business ventures. The board members began passing around copies of her evidence, their expressions growing increasingly serious. Financial improprieties, manipulated votes, conflicts of interest, it was all there in black and white. "This is ridiculous," Mitchell blustered, but sweat was beading on his forehead. A desperate attempt to deflect from your own inappropriate conduct, love's triumph. Froman stood, commanding the room's attention. The board should know that Miss Winter's promotion to Chief Innovation Officer was approved 3 weeks ago. Based entirely on her exceptional performance and strategic contributions to this company, the promotion has nothing to do with any personal relationship. Personal relationship she's been hiding, Mitchell shot back. Not hiding, Sophia said calmly. Protecting. Protecting the company from exactly this kind of manipulation and scandal-mongering. But I'm done protecting myself from people who mistake professionalism for weakness. She turned to address the board directly. Yes, I love Roman Castellano. Yes, we began a romantic relationship during our business trip to Aspen, but that relationship developed after my promotion was approved. And it doesn't change the fact that I've earned my position through hard work, strategic insight, and dedication. To this company's success, the room was utterly silent. Then Maria Santos, the board's senior member, spoke up. "Mr. Mitchell, these financial irregularities are extremely serious. We'll need to call for a full investigation. And Miss Winters," she continued, "your transparency is refreshing. Corporate policies should protect against actual conflicts of interest, not prevent talented people from finding happiness." 2 hours later, James Mitchell had resigned in disgrace, facing both corporate and federal investigations. The board had not only confirmed Sophia's promotion, but it also voted to modernize the company's relationship policies, to focus on actual conflicts of interest rather than blanket prohibitions. Sophia stood in Roman's office as the sun set over Denver, still processing the day's dramatic events. "No regrets?" Roman asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. She leaned back against his chest, feeling the solid strength of him, the warmth that had become her home. "About falling in love with you? Never? About standing up to Mitchell? Not about letting the whole board know that I'm completely, professionally, and personally yours?" She turned in his arms, meeting his eyes. "Best decision I've ever made. Even though it means no more professional distance and more careful boundaries?" Sophia's smile was radiant, especially because of that. "I'm tired of being afraid of happiness. I'm tired of hiding the best part of my life." Roman's kiss was soft and sweet and full of promise. "I love you, Chief Innovation Officer Winters." "I love you too, Roman Castellano. Now and always." Outside, snow began to fall again, gentle this time, like a blessing. The storm that had brought them together had passed, but it had left them stronger, more authentic, and completely, perfectly in love. Their perfect storm had become their perfect beginning.